self-awareness is the new sexy, because people are just tired of the bullshit. They're tired of people pretending. They're tired of inauthenticity everywhere we look. They're tired of men and women coming to the dating world acting like they're on the Hunger Games or an episode of The Bachelor. It's just too much mess going on out here. And when a person can go within and own their shit, recognize their strengths, their weaknesses, their flaws, and pinpoint some areas for growth, like really target it and harness it, take the bull by the horns and embark on the journey of personal development, that is highly attractive. That's why I decided to write my new book, Fuck Submission, Ending the Gender Wars for Good, because we are at a precipice right now at this point in time. What was it? A Tale of Two Cities, where the book begins with, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Is that the story where that line comes from? I feel like we're living in that place right now. There's so much upheaval, so much psychological and societal cataclysm. So many ideas have been deconstructed over the last couple of decades. So many sacred cows have been killed. So many idols have fallen. The wool has been taken off of many of our eyes, and some people have recoiled in shock and fear and, scurried under the tables and back into the shadows of old antiquated ideas in order to feel safe again. And some people have been willing to face the light of day and let the sun's rays purify. Let the fire purge the bullshit so that we can grow. When I talk about this new frontier that human beings have the opportunity to embark upon, and a lot of people already have, a lot of people are already well along that path, it's actually not a new idea. This idea of getting rid of the domination and submission standard in love and relationships with men and women, and having relationships that are founded upon equity, honoring both people equally, not treating them equally, because you're two different people, you have different needs, you're not the same, but treating each other with mutual respect and reciprocal care. We are at a place where we can create that on a much larger scale than we have in recent history. And it's not something that's new. It's not something that humans haven't done before. But in order to return to that ancient wisdom, not to utopia, because utopia has never existed on this planet, but to a mental space, a psychological space, a spiritual community space where there is much greater potential for harmony and for people to actually thrive in community and in relationships and in romance and marriage with one another, where more people can actually have family and community structures that thrive. We have to go within in order to return to that individually. And then that can spread collectively. Now, is everybody going to do it? Of course not. But those of you who recognize the need to do it and who are willing to take that hero's journey, you have already entered and, maybe about to enter that brand new timeline where those things become possible. You have already embarked upon the path of recognizing that therapy is not something to be ashamed of if you should need it at some point in your life. You recognize that this anti-intellectual rhetoric that's being shoveled to us in the West at this particular point in time is insidious, because your ability to reach within yourself and pull out something better hinges upon your ability to learn, your ability to expand your awareness of people and places and ideas beyond your tiny little box of influence. It depends upon your ability, your desire to push beyond your comfort zone and do things that you've never done. Do things that you were told were not natural for a woman to do. Things that you were told were not manly for a man to do. Like sharing household responsibilities or getting up in the middle of the night and feeding the baby, because after all, that is your child if you're a man. Or standing on your own 2 feet and not expecting every man you encounter to be your protector. These are ideas that, it may feel like I'm ripping off a piece of your skin by telling you that, in order to evolve as a sovereign human being, you're going to have to let some of that stuff go. If you want to evolve, if you want to stay, in delusion and illusions and fantasies and ideas that were handed down to us to keep us small, that's your choice. But I think that once you push past the discomfort, once you take the time to journal a little bit longer than you initially set out to, if you take the time to sit in meditation for a few minutes, whereas you might not have otherwise, if you take the time to turn off the television, turn down your plate, and pray, fast for a short period of time, if that's something that resonates with you, where you might not have otherwise. When you take the time to step outside of the office, outside of your comfortable home, and go somewhere into nature. Take the time to look at some trees, to breathe in some fresh air, to sit by a river where you might not have otherwise, to reconnect with the natural world around you. Take the time to have a conversation with a neighbor or with a family member that you might not have otherwise connected with. When we take these small steps to move beyond our comfort zone, we grow. And then when we take the time to take it a little further, because that's the elementary stuff. When you take the time to, if you feel the need to, completely change your diet, to stop eating as much meat so that you can sleep better and feel lighter. I'm just talking about the things that different people feel they need to do at different times in their lives, and particularly at these critical junctions, at these critical transitions. There are tools that you have at your disposal that you can reach for to not only help you steady yourself in these uncertain times, but to help you utilize whatever energy surrounds us right now for your own good. Whether other people interpret what's going on around us as bad or not, you can use it as jet fuel to propel yourself into a better future and to experience a better now, right? That's a choice. And yes, there are certain privileges and luxuries and levels of access that certain people have to resources and ideas that other people don't have. Those of us who do have need to be willing to share and assist those who are willing, but who just don't have the access. That's how you build community. Community is one of the mightiest weapons that we have against the chaos that is ensuing around us. But at the end of the day, it is your choice whether or not you're going to purchase a ticket to take that psychological train ride. You can choose to do the thing that is going to be temporarily uncomfortable and grow. You can choose to turn off the noise and tune into you. You can choose to evolve. I talk so much about this kind of personal growth and evolution because it's a part of my J.O.Y, J.O.Y, just own you philosophy. I came up with this idea because so much of our ideas about love, marriage, long-term partnership are founded upon a possession model. You know, we talk about the history of marriage and how it was invented as an ownership model, as an economic model to ensure the progeny and the wealth of wealthy people, right? It is a model that is founded upon the principle of possessing another human being. You belong to me now. Your body, your time, your legacy belongs to me. And if you break that contract, you're a horrible person. You know, you sin before God, all of that, right? Now, I'm not trying to say that long-term relationships don't require a certain degree of loyalty and that we should just be willy-nilly all over the place and not able to sit still and commit to another person if a long-term relationship or marriage is what we want. That holds value. But love that's based on ownership is not love. Partnership that is based in control is not partnership, it's captivity. The just own you philosophy is about recognizing once and for all that you are the only person in this world that you really have a right and the ultimate ability to control. And yes, you know, we know that there are things like slavery and captivity and prison and all of these kinds of things that exist where, you know, you're given the illusion that people are owned. But at the end of the day, your psyche, your ability to rebel against captivity, even to the death, is still a choice. Just own you is about taking the possessive model of love, of partnership, of marriage, and destroying it for something better. It's about replacing it with a principle, an inner principle of accountability, where you recognize that in order to create the best possible relationship with other people, you must first be willing to own your shit and be your best self with whatever tools you have at the current point in time. It's not about being perfect. You'll never be perfect. It's about recognizing that, yes, you are worthy of love, even in your flawed state. This idea that you're not worthy of love and you should not go out and pursue a relationship until you're perfect and pristine, until you've healed all of your wounds, it's a fantasy. Yes, there is a degree to which you need to sometimes go within and heal and utilize these same tools that I'm talking about now to just lick your wounds and process some things before you go out running out onto the dating market. But at the same time, you know, to stay there forever, expecting to one day become perfect enough to be worthy of love it's a fallacy, right? Just Own You is about owning that worth that you have as a human being, recognizing that even right now, with all of your flaws, you are worthy of love. So you need to take the time to cultivate love for yourself by becoming the best. Just Own You is about recognizing that when you do embark upon a love relationship with another person, a romantic relationship with another person, or even just erotic experiences with other people, they have agency. They have a right to decide what they do and don't want to experience and how they want to experience it. So while you also have that same right, you conduct yourself in such a way as not to infringe upon someone else's agency, right? We can meet in the middle. if you are someone who believes that it is a worthwhile endeavor to meet other human beings with the understanding that they are indeed human beings, no matter what their gender is, no matter if you've been taught that they're supposed to submit to you or dominate you, no matter how much money they do or don't have, no matter how they look, smell, or present, there is a basic modicum of respect that you have for humanity. And you will own your integrity enough to treat people with a basic modicum of respect and humanity. You don't have to go out of your way and overfunction for anybody, especially if they're disrespecting you, but you also want to own your integrity to the extent that you don't go out seeking to harm, right? Do no harm, take no shit. That's just on you. Because it's also about owning your no. It's about owning your boundaries. It's about owning your idea of how you want to live your life and not letting people jerk you around. It's about having the courage to recognize when maybe you've made a mistake and being willing to backtrack, being willing to be honest about that, being willing to step out of a love relationship that isn't working for you, isn't working for the other person, being able to recognize what your needs are and what that other person's needs are without trying to constantly maintain the upper hand. It's about owning some maturity and learning how to have an adult, humane adult relationship with another person. It's about recognizing that evolved love is the choice to love in such a way that your baseline is mutual respect and reciprocity. It's about recognizing that or throwing away the belief that you may or may not have, that you may have been indoctrinated with, that you have the right to rule over another person for whatever reason, or that someone has the right to rule over you. It's about throwing that away and elevating to a new level of thought and emotion and spiritual comportment in the world in general, and especially in your romantic relationships, in your friendships, in your family dynamics, in your intimate encounters with other human beings. It's about just owning you, not trying to own somebody else. Everybody won't embrace that idea, but if you're ready to, come join me in the Garden of Evolution. We'll keep growing, and we'll just get better as we go. The world that we create is what the future is waiting for. Hey, good people, before you run out of this video, hold on. Mark this on your calendar. Put it somewhere in your phone. On January 7th, 2026, I will be featured on the Funky Dineva Live show here on YouTube, talking about my new book, Fuck Submission, Ending the Gender Wars for Good. The book is going to launch that day, and I'm going to have a special sale for everyone who is ready to get it that day. So get ready. Join me in the Garden of Evolution, and let's do the damn thing. This is Inanna J.O.Y, sharing a few of the things I've learned and some things I'm still learning with you. Thanks for stopping by my Garden of Evolution, where we examine what it means to grow, to live, and to love through life's joy, pain, sunshine, or rain. In the Garden of Evolution, you will follow your bliss to your purpose. You will align with your joy,
and live well.